What's up, fellas? It's your boy Aza. Welcome again to the Cloud Gaming Egg channel. So today we are going to continue the series where we do reaction videos to these people that I call state haters. That's what I call them. State haters are people who hate on Stadia for apparently no freaking reason. I say no reason because the service hasn't been out yet, and these guys are just straight up bashing Stadia. So some of you guys recommend these guys to me, and I take a look at the videos, and someone requested I take a look at this Dreamcast Guy video. So let's take a look at it. I'll give you guys my opinion as I just listen and watch the nonsense that I feel like this guy's gonna talk about Stadia. So just searching his name, he has three videos bashing Stadia in 3 months. All right, so look at his views though. Something that works well. If you bash Stadia, you get good views, man. You get good views. All right, let's check this out.
Well, I just got done watching the Google Stadia reveal, and that was bad. They answered basically no important questions. They didn't reveal any cool new games, really.
Okay.
It was a dumpster fire. Google Stadia is completely screwed, and I don't care what anybody else says about it. What's up, gamers?
Google Stadia is completely screwed, and what? How is Google Stadia screwed, bro? Like, oh my gosh. Okay, let's start. Let's hear this.
Dreamcast Guy here, and apparently it seems like Google's main idea is that they can be finally the death of consoles and physical games. They want to make it where anybody who likes to collect.
All right. Just look at his collection of games, and he's just about, I'm going to rewind this because he's pointing at his collection. And again, I feel like people who hate in Stadia, number one, don't like change. Number two, are collectors. Number three, they're just morons. All right, let's go. Let's hear what he has to say about his collection.
Guy here, and apparently it seems like Google's main idea is that they can be finally the death of consoles and physical games. They want to make it where anybody who likes to collect stuff and have a huge shelf of physical media,
of course
this stuff is apparently all about to go extinct because they want to make it where instantly.
Are you scared? Are you scared? Your collection is gonna go extinct, irrelevant, like I stated in several videos ago. Yeah, these guys, man, they collectors are afraid of the service because they know what it means, you know?
Whatever you want to play on can become a gaming device. The general idea behind Google Stadia, I do think, is pretty ingenious. The idea of making it where anytime, anywhere, you can be a hardcore gamer. But my problem is the fact that they just don't know how to do it. They don't really do anything. So my biggest issue is the fact that now, looking at a bunch of stuff about it, it still seems like Google Stadia is just such a half-to-bake idea. So they talked a lot about maximum and minimum internet requirements, because obviously you're not really going to be playing these games so much as you are interacting with a streamed version of them. You're going to have a controller, you're going to be pressing buttons, but
he just said you're not going to be playing these games so much as interacting with this. What do you think that is, bro? What do you think that is? You're pushing buttons and your guy is moving. You're playing the freaking game. What do you mean you're not playing the game? Oh my goodness. All right, let's hear this.
Nothing of where you're at is going to be doing the processing. It's just going to be broadcasting to you a series of visual images to basically mirror your motions, right?
But you're pushing the freaking buttons and your character's moving. Even though it's broadcasting and bringing it back to you, you're playing the damn game, bro. What do you mean you're not playing the game?
Like, think about if you're playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Well, this is one of the games they've been advertising, well, by far the most. And basically, instead of just having it where it's processing you jumping on stuff here at your house, it's processing it over at Google servers. And according to their own estimates, it seems like the actual bandwidth requirements of this are pretty low. but I honestly don't believe it. I mean, Google...
Okay, so if you don't believe it, that means you haven't tried it. If you don't, you guys see my Geforce Now videos, right? I've tried multiple cloud gaming services, and I just did a review video on the Geforce Now platform, and it works like a charm. Like, it's the technology behind cloud gaming is seriously impressive, and this is using NVIDIA grade servers. This is not using the Google infrastructure. So if you haven't tried it, you're going to be skeptical, but don't sit here and say it doesn't work because you haven't tried it. I've tried it and it works. Look at his face. Okay, let's go.
Has so many issues with YouTube crashing, with Google Drive screwing up, with just not being able to upload stuff. I mean, can you imagine if you were paying the monthly fee, which we're going to get to here in a bit, and suddenly Google just goes down? Imagine if you only owned a Stadia. Say that you're like an older dude who spends like 100 hours a week.
All right, sorry, this guy's so clueless. So, Sony, right, and Xbox, how many times around Christmas have the servers go down, right? They're known for that. Like, people trying to hack their PSN network, and the servers go down. There was a time, I believe, 3 years ago, it was down for a couple of days. So don't sit here and say what happens. So Google Stadia might go down, but the truth is it happens to all the other companies as well.
At work, and you travel a bunch, and you're like, all right, well, I can't just bring a PlayStation 4 with me everywhere. In order to play Destiny with my friends, I'll get a Stadia subscription. Well, even though you're paying a monthly fee, when it goes down for whatever reason, you're screwed. When your internet isn't working great, you're screwed. Maybe perhaps you're just in some spot that doesn't have the best satellite connection, and all you have is your cell phone. Once again, you're screwed. Google Stadia...
Sorry to keep pausing this guy. All right, most games, most online, Fortnite, okay? Name your online game, Destiny. You need internet connection to play those games. What are you saying? If you don't have internet connections, you are not playing those games. So the big games, right, multiplayer games, they require internet, which is a lot of games these days. You need internet to play it, and without internet, you can't play it. So yeah, Google Stadia might be relying on internet, but the truth is most games these days do. So let's keep going.
Yeah, basically is a dreamland fantasy. It wants you to just have the most perfect conditions for the most minimal experience. And beyond anything, they've actually said about the fact that nothing's going to be physical. You can't download games. They said that like a good thing. So like a lot...
That hurts, bro. That hurts. Nothing's gonna be physical anyway. Just right now, that's the case. Right now is known as a streaming service, but eventually you'll probably be able to download games. Remember, Netflix started with only just streaming, but now you're able to download movies in Netflix. So that feature can be something that comes later on. Google is Stadia is just launching this year, and it's gonna take. I mean, look at the Nintendo Switch. We're still crying. It's been out for 2 years. I know you're Switch guy, right? I can see your collections, but Switch has been out for 2 years, and it's still lacking a lot of features, still lacking a lot of apps, and no one's giving them a hard time, right? So
a lot of stuff, I own like 500 PS4 games now, and most of them are digital.
Yeah.
Instead of just having a physical disc for each and every one of them,
They're
a lot of
digital.
times I'll just
I highly
see it when it's
doubt
on
that.
sale
Okay.
and download it. I do truly believe that this is a great alternative option because, yeah, it doesn't mean that I get to have everything here at once, but just being able to install the 10 or 20 games I like at a time is cool. And Google Stadia flat out does not allow this. So even if you're playing something single player, like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, it is impossible to just play it. You need to be connected to the magical Google servers. Now let's talk about that monthly price, because this to me is the most ridiculous thing. So essentially what it is that there is a primary tier called Stadia Pro. This is the $10 a month subscription fee where you get access to all of the games, I think, that are basically already out. So if you want to play something that's slightly older, like Tomb Raider, or some of the other stuff they actually flashed on the screen was they showed the name of Rockstar, Bungie, Ubisoft. Like, they're basically showing that maybe we'll be able to stream really old Grand Theft Autos or maybe even GTA 5 through the Google Stadia. And that stuff seems interesting, especially because it's only $10 a month, but there's actually additional prices to this that they're just not being as clear about talking about. Like something they just real offhandedly mentioned is that newer stuff will apparently have a separate fee. Now they're calling this Stadia Base, which, by the way, what a really degrading term for paying customers.
False information. Newer stuff will have an additional fee, and they calling this Stadia Base. No, Stadia Base is free. What he was meaning is that games are gonna come out, like you guys state full price games. You shouldn't, like, it's illegal to have full price games in the cloud. Yes, what he means, this is false. What he means is that there are going to be full price games that you're going to have to pay for. So you're going to be paying $10 a month, and on top of that you're going to have to purchase games, which, you know, Steam does and PSN does and Xbox Live does, and it's not an issue. But for some reason these big YouTubers think pricing, paying full price for games digitally is a problem.
Customers, but Stadia Base is essentially going to be a special tier where you just buy games one by one and they get attached to your Google Stadia account, which I'm assuming is probably going to be just your...
That's false. I just explained what that is. That's false, bro. False information.
Your standard Google account, which means that if I buy stuff, I own it, but I'll probably be paying between $10 and $60 for every single thing. So indie games will be $10, new games will be $60, and I'll never get a disc. I'll never get any data. No matter what, I'm just going to be accessing the Stadia servers when everything perfectly aligns and I'm able to play it. I'm sorry I keep laughing so much, but this is just so dumb. Alright, you know what? Let me just get into the one thing that I'm definitely the most annoyed about, which is the Founders Edition. Okay. Already they're trying to really hype up this special collector's edition of the system that's not even a system, where you're going to be paying $130 and you get a special controller that's ultra spooky and cool. You're going to be able to reserve your name.
This guy is such a hater. You can tell he just hates this and wants this to fail. Like, you can pay this guy money. I guarantee you, like, Google can pay him to sponsor Stadia and he wouldn't even do it. He's so in love with physical stuff that he just does not want this to be successful. Anyway.
Because apparently you have to have a Google Stadia name. So if you want to name yourself Mr. Poopy Butthole, well, you better
Oh my goodness, the jokes. At least it's not as bad as that other guy I covered, but how old are we, bruh?
Order this $130 thing, and additionally, he gives you 3 months of the service. Yeah, that's right. You're going to be paying a lot of money just to get started. And if you want to try and play some co-op and you need some additional controllers, each additional one costs $60.
To correct you, they're $70. But anyway, $130 for, I know you don't want to technically call it a console, but let's be real, it is a console, right? You get in the control, you get in a hardware, even though the Chromecast is tiny as heck and you plug it back, it's considered a hardware, right? So technically, the Founders Pack is a console. Now name another console that you can think of that launched at $130. You call this expensive and ludicrous, but the truth of the matter is just like one of the cheapest console launch you can think of. I mean, $130. Seriously, why y'all giving Stadia a hard time? The price is right. $130 is not that much. Anyway.
But I don't even know how somebody is going to play co-op. So my thing is, it's hard for me to trust servers. The idea that you and I will be connecting through the
trust service, again, technology, sir, this guy, he's driving me crazy. Technology is just not your thing, right? You have a hard time picturing how Stadia is going to work, and you're making a lot of like opinions based on not testing this out. And you're afraid of it. It sounds like he's afraid of technology. Yeah, these servers, bro. Deal with it, man. It's gonna be alright. I promise you.
these really far off data streams, and that means that my controller is going to be talking to the server, your controller separately is going to be talking to the same server. How's that going to work? Can player 1 lag more than player 2, even if we're on the same connection? What happens if we're trying to do co-op and I start to lag out? Does my partner's game freeze up? I mean, we really have no idea.
Yeah.
Now, my biggest question, and this is the thing that I really want a solid answer about, is what happens when everybody is playing the same game. So theoretically, what's going on here is the fact that Google Stadia right now is supercomputers over at Google headquarters. And by playing it, whenever we log into the servers, their computers are processing what our actions are. So just as a random example, if I started playing Doom and I'm just trying to go along as the Doom Slayer and shredding demons and stuff, that's cool. Especially if it's launch day. If it has like a simultaneous release, all of us are going to be trying to install and play this at once, right? Well, what happens if I decide to try and do some co-op or some competitive with my buddies Spawnwave and RGT85, and we all install it along with 1,000 others?
Oh, let's check out your buddies real quick. These guys are also Stadhaters because you guys have recommended them to me. Let's take a quick look at his buddies. Check out your buddies. He said RGT85. Let's go to Stadia. Check out his buddies. It's a joke, okay? No price, no games, no RGT85, okay? Alright, so he thinks Stadia's a joke and he said Spawnwave, right? Let's see. Left us. Stadia is straight up confused, okay? So those are what his buddies are saying about Stadia, huh? Okay. Your buddies. Alright, let's keep going.
Other people. Does that lag the server? Can the servers hit capacity? Can there only be 10,000 people in the world playing the same game? I mean, think about if there's a launch day and it's really big and really hyped up, what happens then? I mean, are all 10,000 people going to be processing things off the same supercomputer? Will it lag? Will there be a queue? Will I ever have to get in line to play a game? Will it prioritize people with better internet? This isn't known, and since this technology is still being developed, I don't even know how to ask somebody questions like this. It's so mysterious to try and figure out at what point this stuff actually becomes a reality. My biggest fear is if I decided to, for some crazy reason, try and jump on board the Stadia bandwagon and try and actually buy games and pay the monthly fee and get the expensive controller and upgrade my internet to make sure it's as ultra blazing fast as possible. Well, then at what point do I have a console class experience? At what point is Stadia going to be as good as my PS4 Pro? At what point is Stadia on cell phones going to be as good as my Nintendo Switch? At what point am I going to have the accessibility of my Xbox One on the Stadia? All of this seems like such a tremendous downgrade that I'm still just kind of sitting here and going, Google, what are you doing?
Alright, he just said a lot, and I'll just clear, his question makes sense, right? He's wondering when the game launches, you see these games like when the Division 1 came out, like trying to play online was, it was chaotic, right? People couldn't log on and all that stuff. And so he's saying what happens when the big game releases and everyone's trying to get on and, you know, everyone's trying to process the Google computer in the cloud. And I get all that, but the truth of the matter is, though, it's good to have that doubt, right? It's good to have that concern, that fear. But to say like a system's not going to be successful because you haven't tried it and you haven't seen it work, to me, it's just ludicrous. Yes, I can sit here and say, you know, I have a concern with the PS5. I'm concerned that the price of the system is going to be so high because the PS3 track record, right? Sony got cocky after PS2 and launched a console close to $600 and expected everyone to go out and buy it. I can sit here and say like have those fears that the PS5 might be really expensive and not somewhat Pasha, whatever its name is, said the PS5 might cost $800. So again, Sony hasn't officially confirmed it. The price has not been out yet, and I can sit here and dread the PS5 and say it's gonna suck and flop because, you know, I'm assuming that the price is gonna be $800. What you're doing is you're assuming that Stadia is not gonna work without trying it, and to be honest, that's just, it's not fair. You gotta give someone a chance. Now, you can make this video after Stadia comes out and say, yo, I tried Stadia. Stadia was really an unpleasant experience. I couldn't play a game, it was laggy, that. You can make a video after you've tried it, but the fact that you're sitting here assuming and haven't tried Stadia, but yet you're saying it's pure trash, just doesn't make sense to me.
How did you think that this is an experiment that would ever pay off? Now, during this, they did reveal some games, and they are cool looking. I think Baldur's Gate 3 is great. Now that we've seen more about Ghost Recon Breakpoint, that seems phenomenal. It seems like such a nice, gritty shooter. But I feel like they definitely got a lot of these reveals to try and sprinkle in there and get us hyped. And more than anything, it kind of just made me look at a lot of these trailers and go, man, these are some great games that I am never going to ruin by playing on Stadia. I just don't even want.
Okay, did you just hear what he said? These are great games that I'm never gonna be, that I don't want to ruin because he's gonna be playing the Stadia. But yet you own a Nintendo Switch and you pick up third-party games like more, I'm assuming, right? If you're a collector, you have over 500 games. I'm assuming you buy games, and I know you play the Switch, right? I looked up your channel, right? So you buy games for the Switch, right? They are watered down versions of the PS4. For instance, if you're playing NBA 2K on the Switch, you're getting it at 30 FPS, you're not getting 60. The graphics not as good. Any major third-party games that's coming to the Switch, you're getting a lesser version of the game. If you get Doom on the Switch, it's not the best, but yeah, you buy those games and you have a good time. And you're sitting here saying that with Stadia, you're not willing to give that a shot. You're not willing to do that. Yes, it might not be as fluid as the console. We don't know that yet. But you are able to do that with the Nintendo Switch. Why can't you do it with Stadia? I mean, if you're not going to do it at all, don't do it with the Switch. It's just, you're not making sense, bro. You buy all these watered down third-party titles on the Switch and play on the Switch without an issue. And here you're saying you're not going to give Stadia a shot because of it.
Want to participate. I mean, I might test it for a video, but there's no way that this would ever be my primary gaming source. I mean, there are just so many better ways to play. I'm still just kind of baffled as to what the point, what's the demographic, what's the goal? Because there just doesn't seem to be one. This is just my opinion, though. What
There's no goal.
do you think? Are you actually excited for a future where physical games don't exist and everything is in the cloud? Are you excited for it? Are you nervous about it like I am? Or does this seem like just an inevitable future? Or are you somebody who believes that the all-digital future will never come and that consoles will exist for all of eternity?
Yep, that would make you so happy.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like.
Alright, you said I can talk, so I'm gonna talk. Dude, you are a collector, and this future of digital only scares the crap out of you. Straight up scares the crap out of you. Number one, you're afraid of the technology. Number two, you're afraid that all of your stuff they're gonna be obsolete. Just being real. You're afraid of the future, and you're afraid to embrace it. But anyway, to each their own. But just like I made a video just comparing Blockbuster to Netflix, and how, you know, Blockbuster didn't adapt to the change that Netflix was bringing and the future of streaming, and that's why they are not in business anymore. You look at stores like GameStop, which are struggling right now they've been in the negative for so long. It just states that people are moving more to digital than physical. And dude, I'm sorry to say, but eventually, bro, that's where the industry is gonna head. And like, you might not be ready to accept that, but that change is coming, and it might be scary to you, but dude, that is the reality. Sorry. Alright, let's finish this.
Share with your friends and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. Here's a dumb fact about me. Back in the day, I did not know how to laugh. What I would do is I would smile and bob my shoulders. If someone said something funny, I'd go. And everybody kept making fun of me for it. So I had to teach myself to laugh in my mid-20s. So now here I am, laughing my butt off at Google Stadia. Blah!
Was that what he called a laugh? Blah! And you just learned to laugh at your mid-20s, bro? Wow. Okay. I'm not gonna hate on this guy, but bro, like, get your facts straight. I've corrected you, 2 or 3 times this video, and again, y'all, these guys, man, they're not ready for the change that potentially is gonna come in the video game market. And he's a collector. He's stated he's a collector. He likes the physical, and he's just not ready for the change and the technology that comes with that. But anyway, stayed hated for sure. This guy just at least he's not as, I don't know, the last video I did, that guy really got under my skin. This guy didn't get under my skin much. I actually had fun with this what's his name, Dreamcast Guy. Alright fellas, if you like this video, hit that likes button, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more reaction, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more coverage on cloud gaming. Alright fellas, till next time, peace.